Why, hello out there, and welcome to Two Dudes on the Radio,
where the world is crazy, but luckily, so are we.
My name is Edward Boyce.
And I'm Shaner.
We did it! Yay!
2 for 2. Yeah, we are on top of our game this year.
This is why this is going to be the better season compared to last season.
We learned, and we grew.
I got COVID.
I got something.
We watched Star Wars. We're just so much better now.
Like, everything we needed.
Pretty much. So welcome to the show. If you're not already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where... Oh, I forgot to post something about it this show this week.
Oh, well, okay.
I will do it right after this show. I am sorry.
And 2 words for anyone listening. 2 easy words. Feedback. Give it to us.
That's 1 word.
It's 2 words
It's
if
one...
you believe it is. Feedback. We love feedback. We will take literally any feedback you give us. Take 3 seconds.
Oh, I don't want someone posting like hentai in the comment section.
Okay, we will take any appropriate
Okay,
feedback. Take 3 seconds, open your phone's keyboard, get on your big keyboard on your computer if you're doing that, and type "good job" or "here's what I would change." We will take whatever within appropriate limits.
Sheener's a little obsessed with feedback, I think.
I just want people to respond. Is that too much to ask? Am I asking too much? Just to get people to respond to us.
Anyways, all right, so thank you. This episode will be up on YouTube. And if you are listening on YouTube, hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. So, our first segment of the day is Top 5 in the Hive. And this is probably my favorite list of the year. But it's going to be our top 5 pieces of music that we listened to in 2020. Now, the reason why I worded it like that is because, Shaner, you don't listen to albums.
I don't like new music. There's occasionally a good song. So
you're just like perpetual 80s kid? Are you like one of those?
It ranges. You'll see my list today.
Okay.
Oh, also, I forgot the original reason. It's because I don't listen to full albums. If I like a song, I save it. And then I just move on to something else.
Fair enough.
I don't go through and listen to full albums unless it's like really something I'm invested in. Like a movie soundtrack, I could listen to a whole thing on. Or like a play or like the Hamilton soundtrack.
Oh,
but
okay. Well,
anyways, general artists.
I listen to music and I listen to new stuff. So I'm just going to put out 2020 albums and Sheener's going to put out whatever the heck you listen to in 2020.
Yeah.
So, that's why it's listed that way. So, Shaner. No, are we listing it from like our...
I think we should go from I wouldn't call it least favorite, but number 5 being this song was good to number 1 being like this is what I would listen to if I could only listen.
Okay.
For this.
I ranked mine based on like recommendations. So like 5's like you should listen to this, and number 1's like you have to listen to this. Stop listening to the show and go listen to this.
My list still works.
That's how I ranked mine. So anyways, Shannon, you want to go first?
Okay. So top 5. Here's a throwback. I chose "Maniac" by Michael Sembello. Everyone knows it. Mostly everyone knows it.
I'm sure I'd recognize it when I heard it.
It was 70s, 80s.
Okay.
It's a great song. It's catchy. It's a dance song. You hear it and you kind of want to just like dance around, you know? You can't help sit still listening to this song unless you're trying to sleep like I do.
I'm sure you
There's
have
that
to play
Maniac on the dance floor.
Oh.
Everyone, it's played at like every like bowling alley.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You gotta dance around to it.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure again if I heard it
I'm sure
know
you would.
It. Like, that song.
It's iconic.
That's pretty much what I do with every song
I don't care what year you were born.
2010.
I don't care what year you were born, it's iconic.
All right. Anyway, so my number 5, again, I'm doing albums, Sheener's doing singles or songs, whatever you want to call it. My number 5, it's called UFO Tofu.
Ooh.
By K-Sade and Drew Bex. Now, this is a very interesting album, right? It's not the best album out there, but it's very interesting because so first of all, if you look at the title UFO Tofu, it is I always forget the name of this. It's the word for, you can say it either way. You can
it's a palindrome.
Palindrome, yes.
Like Taco Cat.
Yes, like Taco Cat. Thank you. Yes. So in their entire albums, all their songs are palindromes.
Whoa, okay.
Also, I think there's like a total of 12 tracks from like the top to bottom. So like the album cover, if you look at it on Spotify, album music, whatever you listen to, it's like UFOs. That's like the art, cover art. But then as the song album progresses, the song titles get larger and larger, and so it kind of creates like a tractor wave almost look.
Okay.
It's very neat.
Yeah, that sounds creative.
And then the sound, like the music itself, it's a very like spacey duo between. Like, it's a spacey sound.
Right.
Great to listen to if you're playing Among Us.
Hmm.
So it's a very thematic.
Maybe
album.
I will give some of these a listen.
It is.
What
rap.
genre would
it
you
is
rank
rap.
it under? Oh,
It is
okay.
rap.
You're starting to lose me just
I
a
know.
little
I'm
bit.
sorry. I know you don't like rap, but
It's just some rap is okay, but a lot of modern rap I just can't get.
it's
behind.
not. It's not mainstream.
That's kind of the problem. Like you can only listen to so many guys rapping about,
No, I say it's
women
not mainstream.
that's what I'm saying. So a lot of these guys are like on SoundCloud
Oh.
or whatever, and you can only listen to so many of them mumble
Oh
about
no!
their ladies in
Okay,
their lives without going a little bit crazy. People blasting in the showers in Thayer Hall, and you're like, dude, just listen to this later.
No. Okay, that's not what I mean. I meant, fine. It's not what you'd typically. I don't know. It's clean. Okay, fine. It's clean. Do you
Okay.
want that from me? It's clean.
I wasn't
It's
looking
clean.
for that, but sure.
It's not.
Do they mumble? Because I
No,
can't stand
no.
no.
Well, there's auto-tune. The one guy
I don't
uses.
care about auto tune.
The one guy uses auto. It's a girl and a guy.
It's annoying, but I don't care about it as much as when they just like straight up are mumbling through a song.
No,
like,
no,
I
no,
wrote
no,
these
no, no.
lyrics down and went.
This is almost pretty
Went
rappy
to the
rap.
store, bought a gallon of milk, went
No.
home, slept a long time. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No. There's lyrics. They'll make
That
you
is-
think. There's a lot of wordplay. It's not like that.
That's our second single coming out of this. The first one was the singing telegram stuff.
The
from
singing
last season.
telegram, yes.
This season will be me imitating SoundCloud rappers. First one's called "Went to Store, Bought Some Milk." Look
Okay.
for it on iTunes.
Okay, number 4, Shader, go.
Okay, so number floor.
The floor.
I picked a more recent song. I don't know if you're familiar with Ben Platt.
I've heard the name.
Okay, so he makes a lot of really good songs. If I had to put him under a genre, I don't even know what I'd call it, but the
Alternative?
maybe, but not quite. Like,
Okay.
yeah, you'd have to listen to it to
Okay.
understand what I mean. So this song's called "So Will I." It's
So
a
Will
really
I.
good song. It's almost like a love song,
Sounds like it.
but it's really emotional, and I like really emotional music.
Fair enough. Okay.
And it's really good. The lyrics are incredible, and his singing voice is like top notch.
Okay.
And it's one of my songs I listen to. And I'm trying to like wind down because I like listening to music as I sleep, or not as I sleep, to like put me into a sleepy mood when I lay
Mhm.
down. I like to put on music and just kind of lay there and listen to it. And this is one of the songs that kind of puts me
Okay.
towards sleep, which
All
is not in a bad way. It's just very soft and very gentle. It's not like some of the other songs I'll get into
Okay.
here.
All right. Ben Platt.
Ben Platt,
Okay.
worth looking into. Great music.
You should send me the list after this so I can go listen through.
Yeah, you send me your list. And I'll try to listen to it.
You can I'll give you select songs to listen to.
Okay.
That way it
Yeah.
makes it better. Anyways, my number 4. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to enjoy this, okay? You're going to appreciate the last one more than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. It's called 180 by Aha Gazelle.
Aha Gazelle. What is with
Aha
these
Gazelle.
names?
I know.
I appreciate that they're creative names.
Yeah. Gazelle's actually his last name. Aha is just like an artist name. That's not his actual name.
Yeah, like in the 80s. Aha.
Aha!
He wrote Take on Me.
I love that song. Anyways, this is an EP. It's another rap artist. Sorry. It's really hard to describe what this guy does. I mean, it's rap, but it's not like you have to listen to it to know what I mean. He's in his. If you know the term "in his own lane," then you'll understand what I mean.
Okay.
As a rapper, he does his own thing.
Mhm.
His one song, he puts crows in the background as just like a
Okay.
in the background.
That's probably sounded really good over the radio.
I'm sorry.
You probably just made whoever the 5 people that are actually listening to the radio jump, crash their cars.
Anyways, he puts that in the background of the one song. It's also he's more of emotionally I guess focused artist, but it's unique. It's not for everyone, but I would definitely recommend it.
All right.
180 by Aha Gazelle.
Aha Gazelle.
Number 3.
Number 3. This one I'm going to jump back from more modern time to about early 2000s because that's where a lot of my good music comes from. Is that kind of alternative pop thing in the early 2000s, not the 90s, like 2001 through wherever. Shake It by Metro Station. It's another one of those songs.
That sounds really familiar.
You'd know it if you... It's one of those you'd know it if you heard it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was one of those popular when in its time, and it's still really good. It's another one of those songs just like Maniac where you kind of hear it and you can't sit still.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, really good beat. Yeah, it's really catchy. It'll get stuck in your head. I've listened to it since I was young, and I still love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really catchy. I like music that kind of, has a good rhythm to it. Not just like drum rhythm, just like it flows really good.
Yeah, just...
I don't like long pauses in my music. I like things to just kind of flow really fast and naturally, which we'll get to in my number one pick.
Okay. So my number 3, something I forgot to mention actually. So like I listen to a lot of Christian hip hop. That's like my main thing. My number 5, that's Christian hip hop.
Okay.
My number 4, he was, but he isn't anymore. But like he's still a Christian, so like he is. But all intents and purposes, yes. My number 3 also is. So it's an album. It's a mixtape.
Oh boy.
Sad People Make Dope Music 2.
Oh. It just tells you what you need to know.
The artist name, and this is probably one of my favorite artist names ever, Mowgli the Iceberg.
Whoa.
I don't know how he came up with this name. I want to ask him one day, but that's his name.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
So, I mean, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's depression hip-hop with a very heavy influence in rock.
Oh, okay. See, that I can get behind. I like rock.
Yes. So as it suggests, this is the second installment. The first one was like an EP with a lot of like, it's also the same idea of kind of like rock and metal infused with like hip hop kind of sound. It's kind of continued with this. It's just a lot more songs, a lot more projects. There's a lot of like, what's the word? It gets pretty deep in a few sections. Like there's a song about like him and his wife, the after emotions of getting a divorce. There's another song where he just kind of like makes a whole bunch of video game references.
Oof.
And there's another song. It's a cover. Wait, was that the previous one? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've listened to this one because it came out like early 2020. So it's been a while, but great album. If you kind of like rock and metal, I would definitely check it out just to see if you like it. There's also a lot of auto-tune because auto-tune's a thing, but definitely go check it out if you like those sort of things. You like fusion-y, it's kind of experimental, not really. So yes. Number 3, Sad People Make Dope Music 2 by Mowgli the Iceberg.
All right. So for my top 2 choices, I had to go with just an artist or a band instead of one song.
Okay.
Only because there's just so many good songs, and some of the songs are a little odd titled, and I feel like reading them on the air.
Fair enough. Okay.
For my number 2 spot, I chose, now, his last name is hard to pronounce, but it's Jim. I looked it up. Apparently you pronounce it Croce. It's Croce.
Okay.
And he was a singer in the 60s and the 70s, so really jumping back. But he got a huge mustache. It's one of those guys, you know him when you see him.
Okay.
But did you watch any of the X-Men movies? Did you watch
the more recent or 2000-y? Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay, so the scene with Quicksilver where he slows down time and runs around
that
the kitchen.
X-Men movie. Okay.
Have you seen the one where they're...
Yes.
Okay, so the song that plays over his Walkman when he rescues people, that's Jim Croce.
Oh, that's really neat. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of his music is like, it's simple guitar music.
Okay.
Like if you have basic guitar skills, you could probably learn to play it.
Okay.
But they're all really good, and they're fun to listen to. He's got a really good voice, and some of his songs are a little like, they speak like culture of the time, so it's a little hard to understand if you don't know, what was going on then. But even so, you're still kind of listening. Right. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's just easy music to listen to.
Okay.
Some of the top songs by him: "Time in a Bottle," really good. "I've Got a Name," really good. "Big Bad Leroy Brown."
Okay.
He's got a lot of good songs, and some of them tell some really good stories too, like "Don't Mess Around with Jim," "Big Bad Leroy Brown." Tell some short stories in the song. He tells a story in the song. Okay. Really neat stories. So
he's like, you said it's just like guitar.
Yeah, so it'd be like folk music, I think, is the best word for it.
Okay.
So, it's really easy listening. It's not one of those things you have to focus.
Gotcha.
Like, some songs I like to focus, hear this whole big thing. Like you were talking about with, sad people make dope music. There's one of those things you have to focus on and really get what he's talking about, which I like to do. But also for times, like, if I'm just looking for something to listen to in the back of my, doing work or something, Jim Croce's got some really good stuff.
Okay, fair enough. See, I'm going to deviate slightly here. Sorry. Rabbit Trail. So, like, I have a weird thing. Like, I like listening to, like, lyrically heavy music whenever I do work.
Yeah.
It's very strange because, like, you think I want to listen to, like, very soft, easy to listen to music or, like, just instrumentals. I don't like instrumentals. It distracts me too much. Like, I have to have lyrics in it. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Anyways, so we're going to deviate from rap because I really tried not to include rap in the entire list. So my top 2 aren't actually rap. Well, it depends on how you look at it. So, okay, so my number 2 was Nectar by Joji, which if you would have told me I would have liked this album like a year or 2 ago, I would have laughed at you. But like ever since I got married, I've like become more interested in like love songs. I used to like never like them at all.
Yeah,
but then like I got a girlfriend. I'm like, okay, I can vibe to this now. Yeah, right. So
that's exactly how I feel.
So this is Nectar by Joji. It is a pop, but he has a lot of Asian influences, so it's not like your traditional pop. It's a lot of like Asian. It has 808, so it has a little bit of hip hop, but not really. It's really hard to describe this. He's very unique in his sound. You just go listen to it. Like I said, it's more of a love focused album.
Okay.
I guess I should have suggested something to pick off of all of these, but I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That leaves it part of the suspense.
Yeah. If you like. Not your traditional pop, I would go check it out, especially like with the Asian sound themes. You really like that, go check it out.
Okay.
So yeah, Nectar by Joji, number 2.
Sounds solid. So for my number 1 pick, another band instead of a single artist this time, and it's an early 2000s rock group, Bowling for Soup.
Oh yeah,
it's a great name, and their music is both hilarious and amazing. What would you call it? Rock.
It's punk.
Is it punk?
Okay. It's like pop punk, I think. But I think no, that's more Blink 182. I would call it punk.
And they do a lot of covers too. So some of their songs are covers of older songs, but in my opinion, they're a little bit superior. Just because if you like that tone of kind of like, okay, let's call it. I guess we call them punk rock.
It's punk.
Yeah. So if you like that kind of thing, they're definitely for you. If you want some good songs, their cover of 1985 is really good. Which I didn't know that was a cover until I found the original. Down for the Count, pretty solid. Normal Chicks, great, one of my favorites. It doesn't make sense until you hear it. Yeah. It sounds weird until you actually listen to it. It's got some great lyrics. And they actually are the ones that sang the Phineas and Ferb theme song, if you didn't know.
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, it's the second you hear them singing, you're like, wait a minute, is that who I think it is?
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because some of their lyrics, you go, wait a minute, how in the world did they get approved by Disney to sing this theme song? But it worked. I mean, so they're one of those bands I could go and listen to and just enjoy, the whole time. And I'm still finding some of their music here and there. So yeah. I Don't Wish You Were Dead Anymore is also one of their better ones. So some good songs.
I don't know. I've tried to get into Bowling with Soup, and like I like punk in general, but for whatever reason, I can't listen to them consistently. Like I have to like listen to them once in a while. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I don't understand why, because they were good.
Right.
Anyways, so my number 1. Now, listen, people. If you're not a Christian, you're not going to like this at all. So you might as well just skip forward ahead of the episode if you're watching this on YouTube. But if you are, you need to go listen to this 100%.
If you're not a Christian, just, look
I mean, you can. Like, you can. I'm just saying, like, you're not going to enjoy this, like, nearly as much.
Go to a church.
Moving on. I'm not getting into this right now. You're going to get me, like, excommunicated by, like, a certain group. Anyway, so... Camp Lukewarm by Lord's Child.
Okay.
A.K.A. Montel Fish, but for whatever reason, he made his name Lord's Child for this album.
Okay.
You need to go listen to this album. Go stop listening to this episode, go throw it on, and then come back. This is so good. The overarching theme of it is... overarching genre, I would say, is worship. But that is very, very, very loosely connected. It has influences. There's like R&B. There's a little itsy bit of hip hop. There's contemporary mixed in there. There's some folk music mixed in there. It is like a whole. Yeah, it is an experience. It's so hard to describe it.
I will definitely.
You need to go check this out. It is really, 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 really good. I think it's the best album that I've listened to in 2020, hands down.
Oh wow.
It is really, really good.
That sounds really good. I like a mix of things.
So yeah, they could play this in a church service, and I'd be down to worship it 100%. Like it is solid. Great music that isn't feel rehashed. It is new. It's not the same cover of Hillsong. It is authentic, and you can feel his heart and soul. It's just so good. You got to go.
Do they cover Oceans or Good Father?
No.
Oh, well, then. Can you even call yourself a Christian worship album if you don't cover Oceans and Good Father? I mean...
I know. But you need to go listen to that album, 100%. Camp Lukewarm by Lord's Child. Okay, we really need to move on because we spent 25 minutes talking about this. We're really going to move on.
A good discussion.
I could talk about this forever.
So maybe if the viewers liked this segment and you want to hear more about... Because I have tons more music to listen to. So
yeah.
If you want to hear a part 2 to our favorite music... Let us know. More feedback. Just say, more music list.
Please.
Write like a caveman if you have to.
You are being very persistent.
What? No one does
it. You need to calm down.
I will calm down when someone talks to us.
You're going to be like that, and then we're going to get like famous one day, and then you're going to be like, I wish the audience wouldn't try and control us with all their feedback.
Well, when we get famous, I'll settle down.
Okay. All right, moving on to our next segment, which before we do, Student of the Week. Freddie Fields. Congrats.
Congrats, Freddie. Your name has 2 F's in it. And that's why you're a star.
That's why. Okay, that's so mean.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, forget it. Anyways, moving on. Next segment is called Quenching Your Appetite, which is going to be brought to you today by Shaner. So take it away, Shaner.
We're changing things up. So, Eddie, we're in a pandemic right now. If you haven't noticed... Everyone's kind of stuck at home.
I know.
So what apps do you think have become really popular during this time, besides social media, obviously?
Grubhub?
Okay, maybe. But I'm talking about, for the staying at home part...
Tinder?
I would file that under social media. So eliminating social media...
Grindr.
We're still filing that under social media.
Sorry, continue.
Try one more time. This is so easy. If you're stuck at home with nothing to do...
Netflix,
yeah, streaming services.
Really? Oh, okay.
Netflix isn't, the app we're reviewing. But it's just streaming services.
Okay.
But tell me if you've ever found yourself in this situation.
Okay.
You hop on Netflix, you hop on Amazon Prime,
right?
You hop on Hulu maybe.
Okay.
Or if you're really stretching it, you could go on to HBO Max maybe. And you've just seen the same things over and over and over again. And you're looking for something creative and new. And you can only watch so many Netflix originals before it just gets boring.
Fair enough. Okay.
So what do? Well, I would contend you download this new streaming service called Tubi. 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 I just recently discovered this for myself. Now, it comes off. This is going to sound weird. It comes off as a sketchy streaming service. And you kind of wonder at first, wait, is this even legal? But it is completely legal. It is owned by the Fox Corporation. Everyone knows 20th Century Fox. Yeah. And it is a streaming service that has been running since 2014, based in San Francisco. Now, you may ask yourself, what can you find on Tubi? Because, everyone owns a little piece of something in this world. Right. HBO Max owns Doctor Who. Netflix owns everything it's ever made. Stranger Things, Daredevil. Great show. They canceled it, but,
Great show.
But Tubi is where you're going to find the weird stuff. The stuff you forgot you liked or didn't know you liked yet. Oh. Some really weird stuff. Now, the reason I found it is because it had some of my childhood cartoons on it. And I went on there and went, what? I can find all the stuff I watched as a kid? Because as far as I knew, I would have to pay to watch that.
Right.
But along comes Tubi, and it's free, too. That's the other good thing about this app.
Okay.
Completely free. You can download it straight onto your phone.
Sounds pretty good.
Now, let's look at some of the stuff we have on here. If you are a, child of the 80s, you've got G.I. Joe, the original G.I. Joe, Transformers, Robotech.
Your Transformers is pretty good. I saw that.
One Punch Man's on there if you're an anime fan.
That's not 80s.
Transitioning out of the 80s. We're transitioning a little bit here, Eddie.
You threw me through the loop. You went from childhood cartoons to adult anime. Like you threw me through a loop there.
Yeah, you know what? This app throws me for a loop. So welcome to my world.
Anyways.
A lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I'm pretty sure they have everything from Yu-Gi-Oh on here if you're into that kind of thing. Some really, really like the old Legends of Zelda cartoons.
Oh,
the really bad ones that nobody likes. Some weird stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, you can also get some more popular stuff, like a couple of the Marvel cartoons, Stuart Little movies, the live-action ones, which, fun fact, did you know Stuart Little is played by Michael J. Fox? Because I didn't know that until about a year ago.
I've never seen them.
Okay, well, you know, maybe we'll have to change that someday. We're going to binge-watch Stuart Little.
Yeah.
Naruto's on there, the Andy Griffith Show. There's such a wide selection. The Dick Van Dyke Show. A lot of old stuff, too, if you know, you're feeling nostalgic. But the other reason that we can use this app is you will find B-movies on here. Wacky and wild and creative like you've never imagined. So, like, let's look at this one. 22 Bullets. Does that not sound like the most B-movie action film you've ever heard? 22 Bullets.
Is that a Bruce Springsteen song?
I don't know.
Sorry, that's 21 Shots.
Yeah, this is 22 Bullets.
Never mind.
Not anywhere based. Hopefully on 21 shots. This is 22 Bullets. Having been left for dead with 22 bullets in his body after being shot by a former childhood friend, a retired mobster sets out to get his revenge.
22 bullets?
He was left with 22 bullets.
How do you live after that?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to review it.
I mean,
It's 2 hours long.
Oh, that's a long B movie.
Or, what about Dark Night of the Scarecrow?
Sorry, our studio manager's here talking to us. Sorry, what's
I'm
up?
going to take all the remote stuff down for this.
Oh, she wanted to take a break?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay, I guess we're going to take our first official Two Dudes on the Radio radio break. So,
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
And if you're on YouTube, it won't really matter. Hey, listeners of Two Dudes on the Radio. This is where we do our ad segment, because we got interrupted, but that's okay. This week's random sponsor for this episode is The Boring Company. If you're not familiar with The Boring Company, they're a company made by Elon Musk, now the richest man in the world. What do they produce? Tunnels. But that's not why we like them. We like them because they make flamethrowers. What would you use a flamethrower for? Well, it's snowing outside, and shovels make problems. Plows make walls of snow. Flamethrowers don't have that problem. So, Elon Musk, if you're listening to us, first off, congratulations. Second off, send us a flamethrower. We will do so many fun things with it.
And we're back. Thank you for holding, everyone.
Unless you're on YouTube, in which case...
You just heard an ad from us.
You can just skip.
Yeah,
you shouldn't, because it's going to be funny when we record it.
It is. We'll record it after this. Anyways, Tubi, Shaner, talk to us.
Anyways, yeah, what I was saying was B-movies on here. If you listen to our show... and you're like, man, I want to watch some B-movies, download this app. It's free. You only have to watch like one set of small ads per thing. They can be a little annoying, but you're not paying for a streaming service. You can get a lot of things on here. B-movies out the wazoo, like Dark Night of the Scarecrow.
Dude, why aren't we watching these?
I know, because I didn't download this app until right before we came back, or after we came back.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's got everything you can want. They've even got a whole section on here called Not on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Duck Dynasty, if you're familiar with that.
Wow, that's a throwback.
Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen.
Is that with
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay, okay.
Third Rock from the Sun is an older one, but I know my dad's mentioned it before.
Okay.
Just some odd stuff, some familiar stuff, some nostalgic stuff. You know, it's one of those things, what are you going to lose by downloading it and looking around on it?
Now, where is it available? Like, where can I get this?
You can get it on the App Store with Apple products. I don't own an... what do you call it? Android, so I can't tell you if it's on Android, but I'm guessing it is because it's not like an Apple specific thing. So go on there, check it out. Tubi, Tubi. Totally worth it, I think. Again, it's free. Watch some ads. You can even just like put your phone down and do whatever while you're watching the ads.
Is there a lot of ads? Or?
No, I watch a TV show in here, and for like a 20-30 minute episode, there's only one. I say set of ads. It can range anywhere from like 2 30-second ads to 3 ads, and one of them's a minute long. So it's kind of a sacrifice.
Okay.
But you're either doing that or you're paying how much for Netflix.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, I mean, if you're tired of Netflix originals and whatever Amazon Prime is offering you, download Tubi. Do yourself a favor.
Okay.
I've enjoyed it so far.
All right. I might have to get it now.
Solidly recommended.
So, onwards to the history of.
The history of.
Shaner, did you know that we just had a holiday pass through
Really?
this month?
This month?
We've had a holiday this month.
Was
Groundhog
it President's? Oh.
Groundhog Day.
I was trying to guess. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did just have Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's on February 2nd.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And so that is what we're going to talk about today on the history of.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog
I'm
Day.
interested in this.
Yeah. If you don't know, it actually happens here in Pennsylvania at, I'm going to botch this up every single time. Paxitani? I think.
Punxsutawney.
Punxsutawney.
It's P-U-N.
Punxsutawney. You're right. It is Punxsutawney.
Paxitani.
I don't know. It's Punxsutawney. Well, it's because, like, the... Never mind. I'm not getting into it. Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. It happens specifically in the area called Gobbler's Knoll.
Gobbler's Knob.
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 Yes, Gobbler's Knob. How do you
Yeah.
know more about this than me?
Have you ever seen the movie Groundhog Day?
Once, a while ago.
Okay, that's your problem.
It is
Go
a
watch
good movie.
Groundhog Day.
It's a good movie.
You'll learn everything you need to know.
Fun fact, that was actually filmed in Illinois, not actually...
Really?
Yeah,
That is
not
disappointing.
actually in
Bill
Pennsylvania.
Murray, what's wrong with you?
Anyways, so we're going to travel back to the very first day of Groundhog Day. All right,
Whoa.
February 2nd, 1887.
18? Really?
1887. This thing is old. So, you want to take a guess at how this thing was organized? How this happened?
Okay, I'm going to guess some crazy person,
Okay.
a lunatic at the time,
Mm-hmm.
saw a groundhog look at its shadow,
Okay.
and suddenly they had 6 more weeks of winter, even though the local witch doctors weren't predicting any more winter. I don't know. What would you...
This is 1887.
The weather rock in the middle of town wasn't predicting any more winter. And suddenly there were 6 more weeks, and they associated it with the groundhog.
No, that's not right at all, actually. Well, you're half right.
See, that's...
So the latter half of what you said is wrong. The first half is actually right. So the crazy person was actually a local newspaper editor. He's like, you know what? We need to make this a thing. So he rallied the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, which is full of hunters and businessmen.
That
He's
was
like,
the thing.
That's the thing.
Groundhog Club.
Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, right?
Huh.
And he's like, hey guys, we can make that this groundhog pretty much tells the weather on, like, you know, the whole groundhog thing.
Was he on, like, psychedelics?
No, this is legit.
He literally went
He
to
did
guys
this
and
for
was like,
news.
we're going to make this
Pretty
groundhog predict the weather.
You're going to predict the weather.
Without the
winter.
influence of drugs.
Yeah. No joke.
Bold,
Yeah.
bold move.
There is some other history behind it, but besides it, but we'll get into that. Later. Okay, so
All right.
that's how it started. Did you know? So the groundhog is Punxsutawney Phil, and like there's like this whole family line of the same groundhog from 1887.
Wow.
So the one we have today
they're
is
still
is
using-
still the family.
Wow.
Yes.
That's got to be extremely lucky. Like, you have to make sure this groundhog, has babies. Otherwise, you're screwed.
Yes.
Are we sure that it's the same groundhog, or have they told you that? We're
I'm
just
sure
led
it's
to
not that
believe.
hard to breed groundhogs, Shaner.
Have you tried?
No, but it
Coming
can't
this
be that
summer.
hard.
Forget Star Wars reviews. This summer, we're breeding groundhogs.
Groundhog breeding tips.
We're getting into this groundhog breeding racket that's going on.
Okay. So, his name is Punxsutawney Phil. That is the groundhog's name. It always has been his name. But
Yes.
did you know that's not his full name?
Okay, wait. I'm going to guess his name. Is it Punxsutawney
No.
Philip?
Not even close. It's Punxsutawney Phil, seer of seers, sage of sages, prognosticator of prognosticators, and
Oh.
weather prophet extraordinary.
Wow.
That is his
okay.
full name, and they dubbed that in 1880.
Is he like a D&D wizard?
I mean, at
Go
this
to him
point,
to
he
get
might as well.
advice.
They also declared in 1887 that for Punxsutawney to be the weather capital of the world.
Really? Okay, that makes sense. I mean, if I had
Yeah.
a groundhog that could predict the weather, I'd probably get named the capital.
I mean, newspaper people, news.
Yeah,
totally
those
do.
stupid newspaper people.
Anyway, so they do, and still to this day, do the whole proceedings in Pennsylvania Dutch.
Really?
Which, if you don't know, Pennsylvania Dutch is like German, except evolved.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe it. But that's pretty much it.
We'll take your word for
There's
it.
a lot of German, but then there's a lot of words that like kind of came as own, and yeah, Pennsylvania Dutch. So they still do the proceedings in Pennsylvania Dutch, which they also say is groundhogese.
Okay, so all groundhogs speak Pennsylvania Dutch.
Apparently, yes.
Well,
Apparently.
Why are we still talking to each other? We could be talking to groundhogs.
I mean, yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Can you imagine, like, Punxsutawney Phil pops up one day and in Pennsylvania Dutch goes like, 6 more weeks of winter, fools, and like pops back down to his hole.
So, speaking of the whole thing, if you don't know, the whole idea behind this is, excuse
If
me,
you don't know what this is, where have you been? What rock have you been living under? Sorry, go ahead.
what?
It's Groundhog Day.
Oh, is that a quote?
No, it's Groundhog Day. What rock have you been living under that you don't know what Groundhog
yes,
Day
yeah.
is?
So, if you don't know, the whole shtick of it is, when a groundhog comes out of the hole, or in this case, is a cage, because they cage this thing, if it comes out and see its shadow, and then it goes back into its cage/hole, that means that there's going to be, it's four more weeks of winter, or six
It's
more
6
weeks.
more.
It's 6 more weeks. Thank you.
Yeah.
6 more weeks of winter. Okay, if it goes out and then stays out, it means that spring is going to come sooner. So that's the whole idea. This year, it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah,
So.
because that's just par for the course at this rate.
Now, fun fact: according to the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, Phil is between 40 and 50% right
Wow.
throughout history.
I mean, that's not a good number.
It's not a good number. However, there's a theory that because of the amount of people, because there's like thousands and thousands of people that attend this thing now.
Yeah.
Because of all the people, it's actually scaring Phil to go back in his cage more, so it's less predictable
We are the problem.
because he goes back. Pretty much, yeah. Humans mess things up again, yet again. Anyways, so nowadays it's a 3-day celebration that happened. It was like the 2 days before, then the actual day celebration. People dress the actual organizers of the event. They dress up in like suits and top hats.
They make it formal.
Talking Pennsylvania Dutch. Oh yeah, it's a whole ordeal and tradition. Now, what else is there? So the original Groundhog Day. This is actually used to be a tradition called something. It's called Candlemas. Sound familiar? It's not Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So Candlemas celebrated the in-between of the winter solstice and the spring solstice. Sorry, I didn't write it down for whatever reason. It's either celebrating the in-between or celebrating the transition. That's what it is. Of the seasons. And what they used to do is clerics used to, this is in Germany, by the way. Sorry.
Okay.
This happened in Germany. So clerics handed out candles.
Mm-hmm.
And the more candles they hung out on this day, the longer winter would last. And then vice versa, if they handed out less candles, that means spring would come sooner. Pretty much.
Sounds good.
Over the years, they decided, you know what, let's throw a hedgehog into the mix.
Ooh.
And do the whole shindigs, shadow thing with that thing. And then once the Germans moved here to Pennsylvania and essentially became Pennsylvania Dutch, they didn't have hedgehogs anymore because hedgehogs aren't native to Pennsylvania. So you know what they got? Groundhogs.
Close.
So, yes, that is how Groundhog Day
fascinating.
kind of transitioned, and then it got taken over by a newspaper editor.
Man, those people that make newspapers, you can't trust them with anything. I wish I don't know anyone that edits newspapers.
Right, yeah.
Man, if I did,
no. Yeah, I should.
we could be
Get rid of
doing
them
this
all,
thing
yeah.
with candles and hedgehogs, but no, those newspaper editors.
Hedgehogs are actually illegal. You can't own a hedgehog in Pennsylvania. Yep.
Oh wait, I think we
illegal.
actually talked about that last season because you said
Yeah, we
you had
did.
a cousin or something.
No, it was a friend of mine. They wanted to own a
Yeah.
hedgehog, but they can't because it's
So
illegal.
it's like New Jersey or something.
It's New York. New
New
York.
York.
Well, I mean, I don't know about New Jersey, but I know New York
Okay.
allows hedgehogs.
Yeah, I remember us talking about
It
that.
has to do with an invasion of species. and that
Oh,
sort of
okay,
thing.
yeah, that makes sense. I guess.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Huh. Well, that was a good history. I learned a lot.
So yeah, Hedgehog's Day. Hedgehog's Day. Groundhog's Day. For those of you who don't
I
know,
like Hedgehog Day better.
I do like Hedgehog Day better. They're like tinier and spiky. I've always wanted to see one in person. I've never actually seen one.
Life dreams.
Life dreams. Anyways, on to our final segment of the show. They're called B movies for a reason, and oh boy, do we
yeah.
have a spicy one for you this week.
Yeah.
Or should I say flavorful?
Well, they could be spicy.
Can they be spicy? I've never had a spicy one.
That's your problem.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Well, let's explain
The
what we're
movie-
talking about.
It's called Inhumanwich. Did
No,
I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you did actually.
Okay,
I didn't know
good.
how to pronounce it until they said it in the movie. Now, why don't you break down what Inhumanwich means?
I think you should, because I don't even want to talk about this
Okay.
film. It's awful.
So, normally humans eat their meat. But what would you do if the meat ate you back?
Dun dun dun!
Now, the term Inhumanwich is a combination of two words. Inhuman and manwich, like Sloppy Joe. Or Inhuman sandwich, either way. But manwich makes more sense because the whole plot's about Sloppy Joes. So
I don't know why they call it like the title Manwich and then they just mention it as Sloppy Joe in the film, but I digress.
I think it could also be because of human/sandwich, but the way they pronounced it made me think of manwich, which is
Okay.
Sloppy Joes.
So this is a horror satire. I think we
Yeah.
can safely say this movie. It satires old like monster movies like The Blob,
Boris Karloff, Frankenstein.
right? Yeah, those type of movies. But it does in a satire way. But it doesn't do it in a good way, as we will get into it.
As a satire, okay, no, never mind. As a horror satire, no.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a B
So,
movie
do you want to
for a
run
reason.
through the basic story plot?
Yeah, so the basic story plot is there's an astronaut whose name
Yep.
is Joe.
Joe.
Did I get that right?
Yep, Joe.
Joe. We are not good at B movie names. Like,
Well, it's because I have a theory on this. So, like,
yeah.
they don't mention the names a lot in bad B movies because they don't want to get the name repetitive, which is respectable. But then you don't remember the guy's name because they never only mention it ever like twice.
Right.
Well, in other movies, they mention names a lot more.
Good theory.
And so that's my theory as to why we can never remember these names for the bad movies,
Right.
at least.
So, anyways, there's an astronaut. His name is Joe,
Joe.
and he's on this new experimental rocket probe. And I think NASA's running it. Is that the
Yeah, because it's the U.S. Yeah.
So,
I don't think they explicitly say NASA, but I think you're supposed to
Yeah.
assume it's NASA.
So Joe is testing out this new rocket that's supposed to shoot up into Earth's atmosphere,
Yep.
orbit the Earth,
Yep.
and land. I don't get why this is a big deal. I mean, we've sent people to the moon. I don't know what the time period for this movie was supposed to be. Like
I
most
mean,
B movies,
the movie is made in 2017, but it's clearly made in the set in the past. I don't know how far in the past though. It doesn't really make that clear.
So, anyways, they send him up in the rocket, and Mission Control is watching him. There's like 5 scientists and Mission Control operators watching
Yes.
him. The president comes in. I don't know if it was supposed to be a random president, or he kind of reminded me of like a George Bush.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
actually.
But anyway, I
But
think
the
he was
movie
just supposed to be
seems
random.
later than a George Bush. Like it seems like
Earlier, I'd say.
90s, to be honest.
I'd say earlier.
Would you?
I don't know. It's
I don't
hard
know.
to tell.
It's
with
hard to
this
tell
movie.
because it satires older movies, like old like
Right.
60s, 70s, but it's clearly set early. Anyways, continue.
So, and while he's up there, something happens. Big explosions of the radiation and some meteors, and the sloppy Joe he had taken with him for lunch gets attached to his face, and he crashes to Earth and becomes the Inhuman
You
Witch.
forgot about the radiation. That's what fuses
I
them.
said radiation.
Oh, you did that?
meteorites,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
my bad. Okay.
But I don't want to spoil it too much. I mean, people want to watch this stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, imagine if Blobba's Sloppy Joe meat came to life, ate people, like picked all the skin off their bones.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, it doesn't eat the bones. It leaves the bones. It just picks all the skin off and blobs on.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the scientists and eventually the military come and they have to try and stop this thing. That's pretty much the story.
Now, I would include under this not just horror, I would call it a comedy.
Well,
And
that's what satire
I guess.
is. It's like making fun of
But
something
satire doesn't
else.
always have to be comedy.
Uh,
Like satire,
I
like
guess.
some satire, like literary satires, can be just making fun of something, but it doesn't make it humorous. The way I describe this film, and Eddie kind of disagrees with me, but that's okay because that's what we're here to do.
Fine.
I would call this knockoff, generic brand, great value Monty Python. Like if you like the humor from Monty Python, you might enjoy this because
See-
a lot of it isn't like written jokes. It's
To be specific, it's satire humor, not the other stuff that they have humor-wise. It is
yeah.
specifically satire humor.
So like it's not as supposed. There's a one scene in the film. The one that sticks out to me the most is the astronaut's wife is at her house making food, and
Right.
the mission control guy calls her and kind of asks like, hey, do you have a minute? We need to talk about something.
Yep.
And she starts repeating his phrasing like, oh, we have to talk about something? And as he goes on and says more and more complicated stuff, she continues to repeat it until at one point he has a quote, and I think it's like 30 seconds long, which doesn't sound long when you just say 30 seconds, but it's a long quote. And she starts repeating him even before he's done. And it goes on and on and on. It gets funny.
Right. It's the satire, like the dull housewife that's like, what? What's going on? Oh, this, and this is happening. Like, it's satiring that. It's just... My problem, like, it's satiring, and I can see why people think some of the satire is funny. Some of it is funny. Like, parts of it I laughed. But
there's also
it's not
little subtle things
great.
in it, too.
What do you mean subtle? What are you talking?
I didn't notice it first until later on in the scene, but when when the scientists first encounter him, you know, after he's killed the farmer.
Inhuman Witch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after he's killed the farmer, all the scientists go on and they start to go after him and hunt him.
Right.
And the main guy, again, whose name I don't remember.
Ed Farley.
Ed Farley. He pulls out his pistol, and it's like 2 inches long from like hammer to barrel.
Right, yeah.
And just little stuff like that I didn't notice until I took a closer look at it. That's really funny because even the smallest guns, you wouldn't have a gun like that.
See, that's what my issue is. That is my issue. It's too subtle for satire. Like, satire you're supposed to notice.
Right.
But that gun, which you mentioned, you can notice it if you're specifically looking at it. It doesn't highlight this gun at all. So unless you're looking for it, you're not going to see it.
That's
or
true.
happen
They
to
could have
notice
highlighted it.
It's the same thing with that phone call. Like, you can, if you're just watching it, you may not understand the joke, but because it doesn't seem like satire, it just seems like, oh, she's being really dumb.
Yeah, that's why I would call it
It's
not
too
necessarily
subtle
always satire, but I think it's also, that's why I would call it like Monty Python. Like, Monty Python's humor was not stupid in the way that it's like not good.
I don't know what Monty Python you've watched, but most of their humor is stupid.
But I'm not calling it's like stupid as an insult, but it's stupid humor that you just have to laugh at without thinking too much about.
Slapstick.
Not slapstick. He does have slapstick humor in his movies, but I'm talking about, like, I wouldn't call that phone call a satire humor. I would call it like okay, think of the scene in Monty Python.
Which movie?
Holy Grail.
Film. Okay.
Sorry, I just automatically go to Holy Grail. So think of in Holy Grail scenes like the "What is your quest" scene on the bridge,
right?
Or like the witch question scene.
Okay.
There's no satire in that, but if you just listen to this audio,
it is. That whole thing is like a satire for like how the old stories of like, oh, you have to do this, and this quest to get over a bridge. It's making fun of that. That is a satire.
You think? Okay, I guess I could see that, but I wouldn't classify the phone call scene like that as satire. I would call. I don't know what kind of humor it would be, but I wouldn't call it satire.
Okay. Well,
it's like, oh, okay, it's exaggeration, which satire can do.
But that's what it does. It's satire exaggerates something to make it funny. That's the whole point of satire.
Not always.
You know what?
You may be right. I may be stupid. That is about our relationship. You're right.
Okay,
I may be right, but I may also be a complete idiot.
Fair enough. Anyways.
This is my style.
You know what? We have the power of Google at our side. I'm going to look up the definition of satire.
You should do that.
And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Satire.
While you're doing... Oh, wait, never mind. You already have it.
I already have it.
I was going to come up with another SoundCloud rap. Yeah. Looking up satire.
Yeah,
with my buddy
more.
Ed.
You're not mumbling more.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Satire, man. Looking it up with my buddy Ed. Gonna do a show on the radio. Gonna go eat a sloppy Joe. Yo. What's up, bros? Yeah. You see, like, I don't get the joy in that. I don't get it. I don't get why someone would blast that in a public bathroom, but apparently people still feel the need to.
Anyways, moving on from Shayner's obvious hatred of pop music.
Very
satire is the... I can't with you.
Tune in next week. There will be more of this.
Do you want an exclusive episode on the Shayner the Mumble Rap album?
It's gonna be. I'm gonna release a whole album. Tune into our top hit singles. Went to the store to buy some milk, and looking up satire and sloppy joes.
Okay. We gotta move on. Satire.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. It's like 3:57. I mean, we're gonna
We
go
got
over
3 minutes and nothing else to do.
I got more to talk about.
Do you?
Anyways,
Oh, okay.
definition of satire. Moving on. The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the contents of contemporary politics and other topical issues. That doesn't matter. The point is the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices. That is satire.
The more I think about it, it is satire. You're right. I had to rethink about my definition of satire.
I'm actually helping proving your point in comparison to Monty Python in this movie.
Yeah, okay.
Except that the humor's not even close. Monty Python is 10 times better than this satire.
No one can be Monty Python. That's why I called it great value. Like, you go to the store and you buy great value Hershey Kisses versus if you actually get Hershey Kisses.
Yeah.
Like, there's a little bit of a disconnect, but you can get the general essence.
I think what you're trying to say is it is the cheap value of good satire. I think that is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. It's like...
I can get down with
satire plot.
It's not good satire.
I think it is. It made me laugh. I enjoyed it. Did I enjoy it as much as everything? Oh, shoot. We didn't even talk about a rating last time, I think, did we? Or was that our first one?
That was our first one last time. So this would be the second one. So we kind of did what
we kind of did.
Something else before we move on. Yeah, there's not much else to talk about this movie. It's just kind of something to watch.
It's
and
a simple, fun, little easy romp through
satire. It's in black and white, which is kind of cool. It gives that the more oldie feel.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it would have worked in color. I think it needed to be a black and white.
Quick. How did you feel about the ending without spoiling it?
I haven't seen the ending.
Oh, you didn't watch it, you son of a...
I got through about half of it, and then I got busy with work and class, and...
Lame. Sell out.
Work and class.
Sell out.
Work and I got the basic plot enough to talk about it.
Alright, well, I saw the entire movie because I'm a good co-host.
You know why?
Just like I was a good roommate to you.
Until you left me.
Well, we all have...
Would a good roommate leave another
Yes,
roommate?
but I stayed till the end and then I left. I didn't leave halfway. Anyways...
That's fair.
The ending of this movie is really, really bad. It is horrible how they end this movie.
Well, I can guess how it ends because they really set it up in a funny way earlier. With the whole comment, but I won't spoil it. The whole comment about onions, I'm going to guess the whole...
that's part of it, but you
I'll watch it.
It's part. You gotta watch. Yeah, no.
I have like 20 minutes left.
That's only part of the ending, but that's not the whole ending. Anyways,
I'll watch it later with Cassie because she wanted to watch.
Little side note: the one guy, one of the NASA help or assistants, I guess it is. NASA. His name's Floyd. He looks a lot like Rick Moranis. Funny enough.
Yeah, maybe it is.
No, that cannot be Rick Moranis.
You don't know that.
No way.
It isn't, but
it is no way. That's
we like to believe it could be.
It would be pretty cool, but I seriously doubt it. Yeah, there's not really any notable. Camera was nice. There wasn't anything like out of focus.
Yeah, it looked decently shot. Not good, but decent. Like compared.
I think that's why they had it in black and white to kind of help with the quality.
Yeah, when I first looked at the shots, the still shots from this movie, it looked like it was filmed on someone's iPhone in their backyard. But this looked like they put a little more effort, not too much. Like even Killer Donuts had better camera quality than this.
This is true.
But it's not as bad. It sits between Attack of the Killer Donuts and Guns of the Apocalypse.
It is better than Attack of the Killer Donuts. I don't know if
No, I mean camera quality wise.
Oh.
It's beneath Killer Donuts, but above Guns of the Apocalypse.
Oh,
Guns of the Apocalypse was filmed on an iPhone in 2 days.
Well, I mean, they probably use cameras. They just don't know how to shoot well and use filters.
So this falls right in between that, quality-wise.
Anyways, let's move on because we do need to wrap this up eventually. Unless we just want to do a 24-hour stream.
Let's do it. We should do that one day. Just like
I really don't want to do that.
Yeah,
that just sounds awful.
24 hours. We're not going to stop.
Well, I mean, I gotta pee sometimes.
Fine. We'll take turns peeing.
I have to eat. I get angry if I don't eat.
We can eat while on the air.
Okay, fine. And details later. Anyways, where are we rating this?
I gotta put it beneath Dave Made a Maze. I enjoyed watching Dave Made a Maze way more.
Yeah, 100% put it beneath Dave Made a Maze. Now, do we think it's a better movie than Attack of the Killer Donuts? Or worse?
Okay.
Because I think this is going to be a bottom dweller movie in our list this season. But
I think, along with the camera quality, actually... That depends. Camera-wise, I'd put it below Attack of the Killer Donuts. Story-wise, I'd put it above, because there was nothing redeemable about Attack of the Killer Donuts. True. I don't think you or I enjoyed watching that at all. I at least enjoyed it enough to put it above Attack of the Killer Donuts.
I'm going to put it above Attack of the Killer Donuts as well. Because at least the satire, I got the satire.
Yeah.
And some of it was at least somewhat humorous.
Yeah, but Attack of the
and
Killer
funny.
Donuts, there was nothing redeemable about that movie except for
No.
maybe the camera quality.
Yeah,
was
that was
decent.
pretty much it. Even that, the acting is pretty bad in this movie too. And
It's a B movie.
in Manwood, it's
But-
pretty bad acting.
Yeah, I'd put it above Attack of the Killer Donuts. But camera quality wise, again, it sits below Killer Donuts and above Guns of the Apocalypse.
But overall, better movie than Attack of the Killer
Yeah,
Donuts.
overall, definitely.
Now, do you think it's better or worse than Guns of the Apocalypse?
Okay, see, Guns of the Apocalypse gave me some characters I liked. Like this one, everyone felt the same. They
Fair
were a little
enough.
bit different personality wise, but in Guns of the Apocalypse, you had that. What was his name? The old, like the grandfather or something. The guy with the cape and the
Oh, right,
pot
yes.
and the crazy hat.
Yeah,
and the Southern preacher
Soup guy.
Yeah, soup guy, and the crazy Southern preacher villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had so many characters, so I have to give it to Guns of the Apocalypse overall. But camera quality wise, it goes beneath. But overall, I have to give it to Guns of the Apocalypse. It left me more
Intrigued?
intrigued. Like I could learn more about Guns of the Apocalypse's universe. If they could up their quality and make a sequel, or even write books or something, I would read them.
Okay.
Just to know more about that universe. Where's the Southern preacher guy coming from? Who's the
Yeah.
soup guy? What's his backstory? It just felt like, I don't want to know more. I watched it. It's good. I'm done.
Yeah.
There was no lore.
I think I would agree. I think I'm in the same camp as you. My only... I don't know. It's hard to compare them because they're two very different genres.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll put the Guns of the Apocalypse mainly because they had more interesting characters. And at least, the voiceover was really annoying. Oh, that's right, the voiceover. I forgot about that. That was super annoying. I don't know. I'm having. I forgot about the voiceovering.
I can get over the voiceovering simply because it built a universe with one poorly made movie, but it built a universe and built questions.
This is true.
Whereas this seemed like a one-off. Okay, you watched a movie, you're done.
Yeah, true. I'm gonna put them as equal because I feel bad comparing. It's like
Yeah.
apples to oranges. I
Okay.
think they're about the same. I'm
Okay.
gonna put it like that. They both had redeeming qualities. Both did things really bad. We'll leave it at that. Okay, well that is episode 2 of Two Dudes on the Radio.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate y'all that are listening. We like doing the show regardless, but
We love this show, but we would love
It's
you
really
to
fun.
talk to us. You know what? This is
Stop
how we
it.
end our show.
Attacking-
SoundCloud rap about feedback. Ready?
Okay. All right,
Here we
let's
go. I'm
hear
going
it.
to start
Go.
flowing.
Okay.
Yeah. Feedback. Give it to us. Yeah. Feedback. Give it to us. We like feedback. And if you don't, we're going to attack you verbally. So give us your feedback. We won't break your back. Yeah. Tune in next time.
Next Thursday. Bye, guys.